Still funny, Martin. Thank you very much for joining us. Okay. You've done that. You've done Horse Guards parades. Is it like that?
Yeah, we don't have such tashes anymore. Although there's a bit of competition with who can have the best tash because we're allowed them. Yeah, you get weirdos coming up to you and things like that. I mean, I'd love Mr. Bean to come up to me and polish my kit, but you do get some people come, funny people.
We'll get into how you kind of got into the comedy thing in a second or two, but just doing that, what's the weirdest thing that's ever happened to you?
You get all sorts of people coming up to you. You get a lot of phone numbers in your boots.
Not all bad then?
Not all bad, but it is if they're not that good looking. You create a good boot and an ugly boot. Right. So if they're good looking, they'll go in your left boot, and if they're bad looking, they'll go in your right boot.
Why the left boot? That's not really the relevant point, is
it? You alternate every guard, so they don't get used to it. You do. You get. I had a policewoman who I tried chatting up. Well, I didn't chat her up. She sort of came up to me and liked the look of me, and she was assisting me with a problem with a tourist. And I ended up getting her number, which is good. Later to reveal, she just wrote Sarah 999. So I was a bit miffed about that. But you do get all sorts. You get people coming up and trying to touch up your kit for you, like on the video. But like if you got a bit of dirt on your boots, an old woman usually, she'll come up and lick a tissue and wipe it off.
It's like wiping your face, you know.
Yeah.
Come here, love.
All dear looking after you.
So now you're on stage doing an old stand-up thing. Obviously doing that, you've got to bite your tongue, you've got to bite your lip, you can't speak back if people are goading you. Now you're on stage, you're the man in charge. Free rein, yeah?
Let loose. You've got to bite your tongue. It's annoying sometimes because I'm just so tempted when you see a tourist coming up to you thinking they're funny, I'm just so tempted to just put them down. But on the stage, I rely on hecklers to make my show. I'm quite quick. So I just love it when people shouting out. Usually someone really drunk who don't know what day it is. It's usually good fun.
So how did you get into the whole stand-up thing? Where did it all start for you?
Before I joined the army, I worked for a theatre company and I did a lot of acting and bits of comedy and things like that. And we ran a regular comedy night every month. And one night, I used to do the front of house and the light and the sounding and all that sort of thing. And one night the compere wasn't there. And I thought, how hard can it be? And so I went on stage and I just ranted about a few different things and had a good laugh and a giggle, and the compere eventually came and said, get 5 minutes together and we'll see how it goes, and just went from there really. I've been doing it on and off ever since. Do you call on your experiences in the army? Do you use that a lot as material? There's a few different bits and bobs that I mention. Usually when I do the reveal that I'm actually a serving soldier in the British Army, it usually gets my best round of applause of the whole set. But there is aspects of the army. I'd say only about 15–20% of my stuff is army, though. It's all based on different awkward moments that I've had in my life, like when a moth flew out the urinal at me in a service station. I was running around with my flyers undone and still weeing. But it's all different. It wasn't. And when the toilet attendant was stood there with a mop, he didn't look too happy. He just gave me the mop and walked off. But and when a businessman came out the toilet and told me, he said, "You might want to clean that. I've left a bit of a mess." I just thought, "You think I have?" But I do get a few different scenarios. I mean, just walking around Edinburgh last week, I did a whole show in Edinburgh last week based on a day's events. Didn't even go into my material. Just things like I had some Germans next to me and they said, saw me writing some notes. They said, "Are you a performer at the festival?" And I said, "Yeah." And they said, "My name is Hans from Dusseldorf or something." I says, "Oh, nice to meet you." He says, "What do you do?" I says, "Comedy." He says, "Pardon?" I says, "Yeah, being German, I wouldn't expect you to understand, but basically I'm a funny man." I says, "Yeah, you funny looking." I says, "Brilliant, thanks." I said, "You comedian now?" And he asked me what time it is, and I swear down it was 7:45 in the evening. I looked at my watch and said, "That was 1944, and walked off. So
what do your mates back at the barracks think about what you do? Is that constant kind of, make me laugh type thing?
They didn't know for a while. It tends to be more the officers that sort of say, "Right, give us a joke," all that sort of thing.
Like order you to make me laugh?
They don't so much order, but they sort of ask me for jokes. But I don't do jokes. There's a difference. There's a comedian and there's a comic. A comic will tell jokes. A comedian will tell stories, and I do the latter. But they try to, but we sort of keep it quiet at work. I don't really do it too much. I'm a totally different person at work than I am on stage.
So you've done Edinburgh. What's next?
Since I've come back from Edinburgh, I've done a couple of charity shows and things like that, which have gone down very well. Now I'm just sort of getting emails and phone calls daily, just saying, "Oh, can you come here? Can you come there?" I did quite a bit of Help for Heroes stuff, which I very much liked. I hosted events and compared events for him, as well as going doing sets myself. I've been a guest speaker and things like that. I love doing. I'd like to do more with Help for Heroes, really, just because I love the charity. They used to some of them, the big ones, will pay me a handsome sum of money, which I'll donate to my own regiment's fund, which is quite nice. But just charity gigs and local gigs. We're quite busy at the moment at work. We're getting ready to deploy. So at the moment I'm sort of keeping work down to a minimum, just doing it when I get weekends off. But certainly, I like the offers, and then if I can fit it in, I'll definitely more than happily do it.
Superb. And a very quick plug, you're on stage tonight, yes?
I'm on stage tonight in Cambridge, so it should be a fun middle-class rowing audience. I don't have too much material on rowing, but I'll certainly think of something on the way there.
Well, you've got a short amount of time to think of some, so best of luck. Well, good luck tonight, and thank you very much for coming in, Martin.
Cheers, thank you very much.
Cheers.
Cheers.